There's a joke on Chinese social media about 361 Degrees having a 299 division because products from this department always launch at 299 RMB, like the Fierce and the 1/2 Round. Today's star, the Pop Blaze, is also their creation. So let's talk about whether this 299 RMB Pop Blaze 5.0 can live up to our expectations for a max cushioned running shoe. I created this channel to review running products from Chinese brands and improve my English speaking. Before I get into my thoughts on the 361 Degrees Pop Blaze 5.0, I do want to go over some disclosures. No one's paying me to make this video, and I bought this pair with my own money. Money doesn't grow on trees, so I will say what I have to say. Let's get into it from the specs. This is a very tall stacked shoe. The actual midsole measurements are 33 forefoot and 39 at the heel. That's excluding the insole, outsole, and sidewalls. The 6mm drop is now marked down on the outsole too. If you factor in the insole, which is up to 7mm thick in some areas, and the sidewalls, the heel visually approaches 6 cm. Although this shoe also uses the same CQT quick midsole materials as the Flame 4 mix, and both are made from eTPU-based supercritical beaded foam. The Pop Blaze feels noticeably firmer when you press on it. You can tell it has higher density. The outsole is traditional rubber. It doesn't seem to be thickened in high wear areas. I'm a bit less confident about its durability compared to running shoes that use CPU outsoles. My size 45 weighs 345 grams. It's a big boy, but when you look at the shoe itself, like its physical properties, that seems fair. It's true to size. For reference, I usually wear size 45 in Chinese brands and size 46 in Hoka and New Balance. After the basics, let's take a look at the details. The tongue and heel padding are not over-padded. I found it comfortable. And despite the bulky, heavy midsole, there was no heel lifting during runs. The tongue is connected by gussets. Next to the gusset, you can see an orange strap on the left and right. At first, I thought this might help lock your foot down further once the laces are tightened. But after looking closer, I realized that they are stitched in place. They don't move or tighten with the laces, and won't actually wrap around your foot. Honestly, I'm not quite sure what their purpose is. That said, the shoe does feel stable while running. Aside from the fair stiff heel counter, 361 Degrees has made two design features into the midsole shape to improve stability. One is a slight raise on the inner side of the arch for better support, and the other is located on the heel. The outer side is concave while the inner side is convex. This design helps prevent overpronation when landing. This is the first time I've reviewed this kind of very tall stack high shoe on my channel, and I want to try a slightly different structure for this video, comparing it with some of the most representative or especially popular products currently on the market, while going over its pros and cons. I'm really curious what most people expect in terms of softness when they see these kinds of ultra-thick running shoes. I asked around among my coworkers, some of whom run occasionally, but usually wear running shoes for casual. Most of them expected such shoes to be super soft, maybe even like walking on clouds. If I were to rank these three shoes from softest to firmest, the More V5 would be the softest, and the Pop Blaze 5.0 would be the firmest. The softest More V5 actually falls between the ANTA PG7 2.0 and X-Type Qingyun Lite in softness. But those two have much lower stack heights. Meanwhile, the Pop Blaze 5.0 is significantly firmer than both New Balance More V5 and Brooks Glycerin Max. The obvious downside is for a max cushion shoe, firmness isn't what we want. For those like very easy and recovery-based shoes, That plush underfoot feeling is essential. I was worried that maybe my weight wasn't enough to compress it properly, so I had my 95-kilogram friend give it a try. And he also didn't feel any plush or super cushy sensation. But we both agreed they are comfortable for walking, not unacceptably firm. But after all, this is a running shoe. If I were to rank them in terms of running efficiency, from least to most, the order would be: the More V5 has the strongest sinking sensation of the three, making it feel sluggish while running. Although the weight difference between the three isn't huge, the More V5 definitely feels the heaviest underfoot. The Pop Blaze 5.0 and the Glycerin Max have an excellent forefoot rocker geometry, making them feel smoother during runs compared to the More V5. Additionally, the Glycerin Max has a more rigid forefoot, makes heel-to-toe transition slightly smoother than Pop Blaze. Recently, I did do some strides in the Pop Blaze. Its firm midsole actually helps here, losing less energy during toe-off than the others. But I can't call this an advantage. I have many lighter shoes. Why would I choose such a heavy shoe for speed work? This reflects my disappointment with some Chinese running shoes, a firm version of a max cushion shoe. The moment I said that phrase out, I realized how contradictory it sounds. A firm max cushion shoe? Well then, how did Brooks achieve that balanced feel with Glycerin Max? The following part may sound a bit geeky. I hope you don't fall asleep. We often see sandwich midsoles with different foam densities layered together, or a softer foam piece inserted into a harder frame, sometimes called a chassis, aiming to create a setup where the bottom offers cushioning and the top provides rebound. Essentially, these midsoles are made by producing two separate foam pieces using two molds and then gluing them together. This time, Brooks used a method of producing midsoles by injecting two different base materials with different densities and expansion ratios into one mold. In the industry, it's generally called one mold with two densities, or two cell sizes in one process. The small cells provide energy return with little weight. The big cells provide cushioning and no glue is needed. The unique thing about this manufacturing process is that it allows relatively precise control over where rebound and cushioning are distributed within the midsole, creating a truly seamless running experience. However, Brooks didn't invent this technique. The company that invented has already pitched the technology to Chinese brands around 2022 as well. It was Brooks who eventually turned it into a real product. I believe the main reason Chinese brands haven't adopted it yet is cost pressure, which translates to retail price for consumers. My pair of Glycerin Max cost over 1,500 RMB. If any Chinese brand priced a max cushion shoe that high, people would say they are robbing. So, is Brooks now the only leader in this area? And how are Chinese brands doing? Well, ANTA has a retail product, the Tron 6.0. Underfoot, it feels somewhat similar to the Glycerin Max, roughly about a 60% similarity in my opinion. It retails domestically at around 350 RMB. I don't recommend it yet. The cushioning loses its resilience faster than expected, but it shows the progress being made. Maybe by next year, you will see me making a video about affordable alternatives to shoes like Glycerin Max. Back to the Pop Blaze 5.0 itself. I think it's a real shame. As it stands, I think it's more suited for walking and commuting, and for people who need to increase their height and try to avoid using it on wet surfaces, like the material of the track and field. Those are my thoughts on the 361 degrees Pop Blaze 5.0 after 20 kilometers. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions about this shoe or any tips for improving English speaking. Thanks for watching this video all the way through. I'll bring you more about Chinese running products. Please follow me and hope you have a good one.